I'm on. Hello. So, tonight we are going to do my cheating version of linguine and white clam sauce. Let me just get this started a little bit. So, for some of you saw, I already did wings in the air fryer for Terrence. I posted that recipe, delicious, but I can't eat it, too spicy for me. So I'm going for the linguine and white clam sauce because a lot of people have been asking, Kathy Pantano. So this is what you're gonna need. So you can do this with fresh clams. And remember, it's the little necks. And I showed you when I did the original baked clams, you just put them on a cookie sheet, put them in the oven, 350, and they'll start popping open. I didn't feel like going to the fish store today because it was a monsoon down here in Florida. So what I have here, and this is based on a ½ pound of pasta, and it also depends on how many clams you like. Do you want a lot of clams? Do you want a little? You can use minced, you can use chopped, you can use both together. I just have 4 cans here of the chopped clams, which is what I'm going to use. You're going to need a lemon. If you like cheese on your pasta, and people say it's sacrilegious to put cheese on any type of fish, screw that. It's the locatelli is going on my linguine. But that's after. I have collagen chicken broth, clam sauce, and then what I have going on in here was I took the olive oil and I literally just went like this to cover the pan, and then I put in a ½ a stick of butter, and then what's in here is 1 whole chopped shallot, and I did about 6 to 7 fat cloves of garlic. Love garlic. So I put it in my Cuisinart because I get it really small, as you can see here. If you look down, you can see how tiny it is. Remember, the smaller, the finer the chop, the more flavor you're gonna get from the garlic. Over here, I'm boiling my ½ pound of linguine, which I am also too, this is just my personal preference. I hate ronzoni pasta. I think it's way too starchy. I like Barilla, I like the Chicho, like there's so many different ones. This is all I had because the markets were a little bit on the weak side with product. So how you're gonna start off here is you are gonna saute the shallots and the garlic in the butter and the oil combo, and then make sure the juice of a lemon. I love this little thing, this little cheap thing that I got on Amazon, because you get so much more juice with this than you do trying to squeeze it on your own. So I'm gonna make sure there's no pits. I'm gonna throw that in there. You can also use, which I prefer, fresh parsley, but this was kind of on a whim thing, so I don't have it, squeezed parsley. So I just do a good squeeze of it in there. Get that after. Then you're gonna mix it again, and again, remember, do not burn your garlic. So we're gonna get this all coming through. This is one of those 10-minute recipes because the clams are technically cooked. That's gonna cook a little bit more. So what this is, I like clam sauce. People are gonna laugh. Like, I want it juicy. I don't want it dry or whatever. I want a lot of liquid in there. So that's how I make mine. You can modify this to whatever you like, but I just find the more juice in it, the better it's gonna taste. And it also tastes better the next day when you reheat it. This is one of those dishes that just gets better and better the longer that it sits. So this is all coming up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pour in the clams and the juice, everything in here. And you're really not cooking it because they're already cooked. You know, you're heating it. So what you wanna do is bring this to a boil. So we're gonna put all of this in here. And again, you can use fresh little necks. Didn't feel like doing it. Terrence will not eat this. He'll eat my baked clams, he'll eat a clam dip, but he won't eat this. Go figure. So again, we're gonna mix this all in, and you want it to come up to a boil. What you're also gonna add, I use 1 whole bottle of clam juice. Doesn't matter on the brand. Shake it really well. And that goes in there. So all of this is going to wind up coming to a boil sooner or later. I'll show you. Let me put the heat up. And then what I have, people sometimes do this. So they put in, if they want more sauce, more of the liquid, they put the cooked pasta water in. It is good. It adds a little starch to it. I like my chicken broth. So you can do either. I'm not going to hold it to you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to probably say about 4 ounces of chicken broth. Use this. See, I don't use a measuring cup. I'm just going to eyeball it. Now, all of this is going to wind up coming to a boil. When it comes to a boil, wait about 5 minutes and you're pretty much done. Now, let me just check my pasta. That's good. So, this is a little secret that I do. Again, it is completely optional. I use an egg. And what happens is, I like, Terrence is a big fan of shell pasta. I like rotini. I like pastas that are going to be able to hold the sauce because that's the flavor. You know, it's not about the macaroni. Shut up, he's making fun of me. It's about the flavor. And what happens is when you have linguine, spaghetti, you will never find spaghetti in this house either because I hate it. If you have linguine or spaghetti, even angel hair, what happens is the sauce is just going to slide right off. Believe it or not, once you drain the pasta, if you put this scrambled egg in there and stir it really quick, it's going to cook. You might see tiny, tiny little pieces of eggs. Don't let the kids see that you're doing this if they eat clam sauce. It makes the sauce stick to the pasta. True. Try it. Don't laugh. So let me check this. I think this is actually almost done. Yeah. About 2 more minutes, I think, and then it will be done. So this is still trying to come to a boil. So we're going to wait a couple of minutes for this to come up to a boil, and then I'll come back and you can see how I mix everything together. So see you soon. We're back. So come here, my lovely husband. You can see here, it's all boiling. This is what you want. It's done. We're going to shut it off. My pasta, my linguine, you could do this with angel hair too, peeps, is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep some of the pasta water because I want to taste this just in case I want to add. So usually I just do that and I put it aside. So let me strain this. I'll be right back. So this is where you have to move fast because the pasta is really, really hot. Now you have the option. This is so funny. Some people rinse their macaroni, some people don't. I don't, because when you rinse it, yes, you're taking all the starch off, but that's the flavor. And that's also going to help your sauce stick to the macaroni. So, let me do my little draining. I'm going to put it right back in the pot that I cook. Whoop, I'm hot. So, I'm going to take my egg, make sure it's really scrambled. I'm actually going to put it back. Even though the stove is off, I'm going to put it back on. And I'm pouring it in. And immediately, I'm mixing really, really fast. Because the egg already, when I mix a little more, and I think if Terrence tries to come in now, you're not going to be able to see it because of the steam. But you see the little pieces of egg? You're never going to see it once the sauce goes in there. So don't even worry about it. So that's done. And then, what I do, that's off. I'm going to pour this whole thing right in. Oh yeah. You're going to mix again. I mean, look at this. Come here, babe. That's just 4 cans. Look how yummy that looks. Normally what I would do after I cook it, and the egg, like you really don't even see it. It's so tiny, but if you got like picky people, don't put the egg in. I mean, I find a difference with it. But what normally I would do is after I make it, I let it sit for 15 minutes in the pot because I really want the flavor to absorb into the macaroni. But since my husband will not do a taste test, it's up to me. Gotta get the cheese ready. I'm gonna take a little of this. just a little bunch. Look at that. Ain't that pretty, honey? But it's even more pretty when you add the locatelli cheese. So I'm gonna put a little cheese on top. Okay, maybe I'm gonna put a lot of cheese on top. Give it a little mix. Taste this. You sure you don't want to taste?
Positive.
You're a wimp. Here we go. I need to trademark that. Trademark that. So good. So good. So now this is going to sit here 15 minutes and then I would serve it. This reheats really, really well because the next day, figure that it's soaking in all this. Come over here, hon. So you see how much liquid I have compared to a half a pound of pasta? I like it this way because I like it to be soaking in it. You want the flavor of all that. You don't have to use as much liquid as I do. It's just my preference. What's going to happen overnight when you put this in the refrigerator too, it's going to sop up the liquid. If it gets a little dry, chicken broth, don't put water in. Or if you want, save the pasta water and you can put that in as well the next day if it gets a little too dry for you. But I prefer the chicken broth, much more flavor. So, cheater, linguine with white clam sauce. One either one, he's making fun of me. Enjoy, and we'll be back sometime soon with the next one. Manja.